a friend, here's what to say. Let's talk in English, 10 minutes every day. When you need a friend, here's what to say. Let's talk in English, 10 minutes every day. That's the way.
Hello everyone, welcome to Let's Talk in English. My name is Peter and happy Monday.
Hi friends, I'm Pauline. Thanks for joining us today. Today we get a story time.
And it's called Marion's House. Hey Pauline, what's a great way to start off a Monday?
I don't know, you mean with our show maybe? I mean, sure, but we do a show every Monday, Peter.
No, Pauline, I'm not talking about our show. Well, I am talking about our show, but not just any kind of show today. Today we have our story time show. Aren't you excited?
All right, okay, yes, you're right. I love story time shows, and that is a nice way to start the work week.
So, what do you think our story will be about today?
Ooh, that's a good question. The title doesn't tell us very much. It's just someone's house.
Right, Marion's house.
But who's Marion and what's so interesting about her house?
I don't know. I guess that's what we're going to find out. But before we do, we better learn our key words first, right?
Yes, and let's go to Jack for some help.
Hello， 我们今天要讲故事。故事的男主角有一个好朋友叫做 Marion。Marion 要去度假了，今天晚上就离开。She is leaving this evening。动词 leave 是离开。Marion 住在一栋小房子里，她拜托这个男生在他离开的时候呢，帮他照顾一下房子。She lives in a small house。形容词 small 是小的。去到 Marion 家，他可以帮忙把放在家外面的邮件和报纸拿进来。He can bring in her mail and newspaper。报纸就是 newspaper。因为 Marion 家有些东西很值钱，所以一定要小心一点。Some things in the house are very valuable。形容词 valuable 就是值钱珍贵的。我们的男主角答应每天去他家看看。然后离开的时候一定会把门锁好。He'll lock the door when he leaves。动词 lock 就是锁上。
I have a good friend. Her name is Marion. She is leaving this evening. She is taking a vacation. I am happy for her. She is in her 70s. She lives in a small house. It is near my house. She is an only child, and she never married. I often stop by her house on my way home from work. We talk a lot. I help her sometimes too.
In our story today, we have two main characters. That means there are two important people in the story. Who are they, Pauline?
Oh, that's a tricky question. Of course, one of the characters is Marion, but the other character doesn't have a name. He is the narrator. A narrator is the person telling a story.
Right. So how does this story start?
Well, the narrator starts to tell us about his friend Marion. Marion is an only child and she never married, so she probably lives alone. And she is an older lady. She is in her 70s.
In her 70s. That's an interesting way to talk about someone's age. Jack, can you explain this for us?
Marion 现在70多岁。She is in her 70s. 句尾的70加 s 念成 70s。凡是7开头的2位数都是 70s， 所以是70到79。She is in her 70s， 这表示 这个人70多岁。另外，你有时候会看到有人说 She is in her early 70s， 就表示她的年龄是70出头。如果说 She is in her late 70s， 就表示她可能将近80岁了。我们来看看例句。My mother went back to school in her 40s。 我妈妈40多岁的时候回到学校去读书。或者 My father retired in his late 40s。 我父亲不到50岁的时候就退休了。
Thanks, Jack. So I am in my 30s, and Peter is in his 40s.
What? No, I'm not in my 40s.
Just checking to see if you were listening, Peter. Anyways, Marian is in her 70s. She lives alone in a small house. Let's get Rebecca to help us practice some more sentences like this.
Hello, friends! Wow, you were all so excited to learn today's Use It tip. And today's Use It, you're going to think of different ways to describe the type of house that someone lives in. Let's look at a few examples. First, she lives in a big house. Or you could say, she lives in an old house. Excellent job. Make sure that you go out and use it.
All right, thank you, Rebecca. Well, Marian lives in a small house, and the friend who is telling us this story lives nearby.
Yes, he often stops by Marian's house on his way back from work.
Let's talk about this phrase, on the way back from work. We go to work in the morning, and then we go back home from work at the end of the day. What do you do on the way back from work, Pauline?
I like to walk through the park, and sometimes I stop by the grocery store on my way back from work.
Well, this man stops by his friend Marian's on the way back from work. He talks with her, and he helps her sometimes too.
Oh, that's so nice. Older people who live alone can be very lonely. I'm glad Marian has a friend who cares about her.
Well, this is just the beginning of the story, so let's see what happens next.
Marian is going to Canada, so I am keeping an eye on her house. This afternoon, I go to her house. She tells me a few things to do. While she is gone, I'll water her plants and bring in her mail and her newspaper. I'll feed her fish, too.
Please stay in my house for an hour or two every day,
Marian says.
You can read a book or watch TV.
Oh, Peter, we forgot to talk about something important in the first part of the story.
Oh, really? What's that?
We learned that Marian is taking a vacation. In fact, she's leaving this evening.
That's great. I'm happy for her.
Me too. It's nice that she can do that and go to Canada. Her friend is going to help keep an eye on her house while she's away.
Oh, hey, that's another idiom. Remember, we've been learning a lot about those this month. Let's get Jack to explain this one.
故事的男主角答应在 Marian 出外旅游的时候帮他照顾他的房子。I am keeping an eye on her house. 所以片语 keep an eye on something 就是看守照顾某个事物的意思。你也可以用 keep an eye on someone 表示照顾某人。来看例句 I can keep an eye on the kids this evening. 我今天晚上可以照顾小孩。Can you keep an eye on the stove for me? 你可以帮我看着炉火吗？
Thanks, Jack. So Marian's friend will keep an eye on her house while she's away. She gives him instructions on what to do. She asks him to water her plants, bring in her mail every day, and the newspaper.
Right. And he'll need to feed her fish too.
Oh, right. That's important. Is there anything else he needs to do?
Well, she asks him to stay in her house for an hour or two every day.
Interesting. Why do you think she wants that?
Well, maybe she doesn't want people to know that no one is staying in the house.
Oh, I see. So if the lights are on and someone in it is inside for a couple hours each day, it looks like someone is still living there.
Right. And then it is less likely that someone will try to break in and steal things.
That makes sense, I guess. I'm glad Marian has such a good friend she can trust to help her. She will enjoy her trip more because she won't have to worry about her house.
I agree. Hey, Pauline, if we take a short break, will our friends worry about us?
I don't think so. They know that we will be right back. And we do need to take that break. So, friends, we'll be back in just a minute. Don't go away.
Let's talk in English. 10 minutes every day. That's the way.
Welcome back from the break, everyone. Hey, do you have any friends who are older than you? What about you, Pauline?
Yes, I do. I have a good friend who is in his 80s. He's a very funny guy. I always laugh when I am with him. Like Marian in our story, he lives alone. So my family always invites him over for holidays.
That's great. Well, speaking of Marian, let's get back to our story and find out what will happen next.
I can do that.
I say.
I like your house. You have so many interesting things in it.
I do.
Says Marian.
Some of them are valuable. And I'm a little afraid someone might steal them.
No one can steal them.
I say.
I'll take care of your house and lock it when I leave.
Thank you, my dear.
Says Marian.
You're welcome.
I say.
Have a good trip.
So before the break, Marian's friend agreed to watch her house while she's away. She asked him to stay in the house for an hour or two every day.
Right, and Marian's friend is happy to do that. He likes Marian's house. She has a lot of interesting things in it.
Oh, I understand that. When I was a kid, I had a neighbor who was an older woman. She also lived alone, so my family stopped by to visit her often. I loved going to her house because she had so many interesting things in it.
Really? Like what, Pauline?
Oh, like big seashells and pretty rocks and old interesting machines. Also, she always gave us candy.
That's very nice. Well, I don't know about the candy part, but Marian also has many interesting things in her house, and some of them are valuable. That means they are worth a lot of money.
Oh, right. And Marian is a little afraid someone might try to steal those things.
But Marian's friend isn't worried. He says, "No one can steal them. I'll take care of your house and lock it when I leave."
Peter, what does the word lock mean?
Well, when you leave your house, you walk out the door. Then you close the door, and then you lock it with your keys.
Ah, right. So if your door is locked, you need keys to open it.
Exactly. So Marian's friend promises to keep an eye on the house and lock it each time he leaves.
This makes Marian feel better. She says, "Thank you, my dear." Sometimes older people will call younger people my dear. It's sweet.
Of course. Marian's friend is happy to help her, and he finishes their conversation by saying, "You're welcome. Have a good trip."
Oh, right. Have a good trip.
Thanks, Pauline, but I'm not going anywhere.
I know, Peter, but have a good trip. That's today's calendar phrase.
Have a good trip.
Have a good trip. 祝你旅途愉快。
I'm taking a vacation.
Have a good trip.
I'm visiting my aunt.
Have a good trip.
I'm leaving tomorrow.
Have a good trip.
Can you walk my dog while I'm away?
Yes, but have a short trip. Woof, woof.
Have a good trip.
Have a good trip. 祝你旅途愉快。
Now that is a great calendar phrase. Friends, if you are going on vacation anytime soon, we hope you have a good trip.
But don't go anywhere yet because we still have to review our key words. Let's do that together now.
Here's the first key word from today. Small. Small. What is in that small box?
Newspaper. Newspaper. I read the newspaper every day.
Valuable. Valuable. These paintings are valuable.
Lock. Lock. I can lock the door now. Okay, friends, those are your key words for today. Keep on practicing. And now let's watch our story one more time together.
I have a good friend. Her name is Marian. She is leaving this evening. She is taking a vacation. I am happy for her. She is in her 70s. She lives in a small house. It is near my house. She is an only child, and she never married. I often stop by her house on my way home from work. We talk a lot. I help her sometimes too. Marian is going to Canada, so I am keeping an eye on her house. This afternoon, I go to her house. She tells me a few things to do. While she is gone, I'll water her plants and bring in her mail and her newspaper. I'll feed her fish too.
Please stay in my house for an hour or two every day.
Marian says.
You can read a book or watch TV.
I can do that.
I say.
I like your house. You have so many interesting things in it.
I do.
Says Marian.
Some of them are valuable, and I'm a little afraid someone might steal them.
No one can steal them.
I say.
I'll take care of your house and lock it when I leave.
Thank you, my dear.
Says Marian.
You're welcome.
I say.
Have a good trip.
I have some exciting news, Ginger.
Really? What?
I'm going on a short vacation.
Yay! We're going on a vacation!
No, Ginger, I'm going on a vacation.
But what about me?
You're going to stay home and keep an eye on the house.
Keep an eye on the house?
That's right. Here's the list. You need to water the plants.
Every day?
Yes. And bring in the newspaper.
Every day?
Yes. And don't forget to feed the fish.
Every day?
Yes. Oh, and lock the door when you leave the house.
Every time?
Yes. And don't forget to feed the monkey.
Me? Well, I won't forget that. I'll eat bananas every day.
Every day?
Yes.
Okay, friends, well, today is Monday, so let's answer some questions together, okay? Here's question number 1. Where is Marian going? Where is Marian going?
You can find the answer in part 2. She is going to Canada. Question number 2. How do you help others? How do you help others? Let's hear some answers from some of our friends.
How do I help others? As a nurse, I help others in many different ways. People come to the hospital who are sick, so I have to help them to feel better. Sometimes I give them medicine or something else to help them to feel better. Also, I can help people who maybe are not feeling well, who are feeling down, by listening to their problems and helping them in that way.
How do I help others? I like to see my friends and family happy. So when I see them in need, I always ask if they need my help. For example, if my roommates are tired in the morning, I would make sure there's hot coffee for them when they leave the house. Or if I see an old woman crossing the road, I would stop and make sure she gets across safely. There are so many other things that I would do. What about you? How would you help others?
How do I help others? Well, I guess it all really depends on what their problem is. But in most circumstances, I have found that listening first is a good rule of thumb or a good principle to live by. I try to listen to whatever their problem is and offer feedback accordingly. So I recommend always trying to listen and have them share whatever is on their heart and then try to offer whatever that I can.
How do I help others? I like to help people, and one way that I help others is by talking with them. Sometimes people just need someone to listen to what they have to say. I like to go get coffee with my friends. Then we can chat about what they are thinking about. If they have a problem, maybe I can help them.
Well, friends, thanks for joining us today. I was thinking about my neighbor. When they go on vacation, I will gather the mail for them so it looks like someone is still home.
Oh, that's a great way to help others, to help our neighbors. I really love this story. I love talking to and being friends with people who are older than me. They give me different ideas about life, and they're really enjoyable people.
Yes, I'm enjoying this story too. Well, friends, come back tomorrow, right here on
Let's Talk in English. Goodbye.